Hey there, how's it going? Thought I'd do a little bit more building, so let's go into our build, and I'll run down to where we're going. So as I've pointed out before anyway, when I'm building I prefer to have the avatar right next to me, so that you can sort of run around and see things as you were when you're playing in the game. I mean, you can fly cam around anyway, but it's a lot more precise when you're looking at it from the eyes of from the avatar's point of view. And also size wise is really pretty important as well, that for the scale of something that you're putting in, you know exactly how big it is compared to a human or a replicated human. So yeah, so it's sort of, I think it's the day after, what's the date? I think it's the 15th. Anyway, it's not that long since I recorded the previous video, and I said I was going to be doing, let's fix this while I'm just here. Hang on, let's do this. I said I was going to do pots and plants out on the deck, and I actually did try out. I said I was going to put in a sort of a vertical fir tree in a particular spot, and I did try one out, and it looked so nice where it was and the size it was and everything. I left it there. I haven't put a pot around it yet, but so you'll see. Which shape am I going to use? There's an egg shape. There's a rock shape. I think I would just use a rock. Rise the rock. Rock, 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 rock. There you are. Where is it? There it is. I just got to cover this terrible. Look at that. It's one piece and another piece, and these lines here is the texture of the sand not being drawn properly because it's sort of sliced on a funny angle. See, going down, it doesn't like it. It makes it look even worse. So we'll just cover that up with our sand. We've got to try and get it so it's no. Okay, let's squash it down first. I don't need the whole thing. See, the flat top's good. Let's just squash it like that. Might be better, because I think when you squash it, that's also going to flatten all the sides out a little bit as well. Alright, so yep, that's better. Oh no, hang on, no, it's not. I get it over. Yeah, there's covering here. I might tilt it over. And we've got a line here, hang on. There. And we've got a line there. And we've got a lump there. Maybe there and just down. There. That should be okay. Just checking. So we haven't got any obvious big lines. That's not so bad. When I put the sand texture on, that'll all disappear. That's pretty good, I think. So it just looks like, yeah, alright, we'll put our sand on. Nature, sand. Oh. No, it's a different colour. Yeah. Why is it a different colour? Why? Alright, I'll change it. I'll squash this right up. Make a sliver. And then spin it. It's never easy, is it? I thought it would be easy. There. So swivel it round. When you're swiveling, you're using this middle horizontal yellow line here. You're grabbing that. Oh, also, I forgot to say, on the last video I didn't have the chat up. I thought it would make a bigger screen for viewing. And, I'll just close it a bit. And I thought about it and I thought, oh, it's sometimes it's just amusing to watch what bullshit they're coming out with, and it might be something you enjoy, so to randomly just see stuff. So I put it back up. I'll leave it up so you can read whatever they're doing. I won't remove it again like normally I would. The other day I was like that, got rid of it, but I'll leave it there so you can have a giggle. So over here, alright. Oh, hang on. So wider. Oh yes, when you're turning things horizontally, when you're above it, that line that you need to grab mixes in with all the others. So the angle at which you're looking at things can influence the gizmos. These things are called gizmos. These controllers, these little lines and whatnot, like these things, and it can influence the direction that you're looking at it from. Can influence how it works, how you can see. I can see it from here, and if I go above it, it's very hard to grab it. I could move it in a different. It moves in other directions as well, so it moves in funny ways. Whereas this one, there's a yellow box which you can move things freehand, right? If you grab onto this yellow box. So you'll sometimes see me use just the arrows, and sometimes you'll see me move things around freehand. It's because I'm using this yellow box. If you're too far down, it disappears. So when you do that one, you want to be higher, so you can see it becomes bigger. So yeah, where you are, where the camera's placed will influence sometimes how easy the gizmos are to use. That's fine. That's fine. I just want to cover this up. Is that so? There. There. Still got a line though. Lift it up. And then at the other side of it, see if it's, if I flip it over, degrees. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that side better? Down. No, that side is not too bad. It's a bit. Oops. Maybe. No. There's this problem here. Well, that's. Hang on. To make it bigger. See, that looks fake as shit. It's really difficult because it's not on the. Oh yeah, it should be on the straight, shouldn't it? It should be on the grid. That looks. Line's even worse. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Hang on, hang on. Get rid of that. Hang on. It's just a little. I don't like the line. What about just a different shape without the actual? Try this egg shape, or this pillow shape. Pillow. It might be better because it's not got the ridges on it. Smoother. Oh yeah. Try that. It's because the sun's laying it in a certain way as well. If I flatten it out. Flatten. So it's not. It's not. Oops. Better. That's a little better. That might do. It's too dark. I don't know why it's. Oh. There's that. That's better. I think it's the way. That's better. It's the way the light's hitting it. I don't think I can. Oh, now I've got this there. Now I've got one here. How's that? That's better. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Whew. It's because the light, the way it calculates the daylight and throws the shadows. It can tell that the angle of that piece of it is different to the angle of this piece, so it lights it differently. That's pretty close. I think we'll go with that. What do you think? I think that's pretty good. Let's have a look from a distance. Yeah. Apart from the fact that the plant, the bushes, the branches go through the floor. I mean, who cares? That's a lot better than it was. Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. No one's going to look at that. No. Okay. That'll do. That'll do. That's fine. Yep. Yeah. At least the line's gone anyway. I was thinking I could put some. There's a plant. There's grass that you can do. I was thinking of putting grass, which is under this plant here. I've never run through the menu before. There's beds, primitive shapes of all kinds, couches, bookshelves and screens, which are as old as the hills. They've been around since the game started. There's little sort of decorations for plaster work, but you know, like architecture and stuff. There's all the different lights that you can put in, like light effects. Just a couple of sunbed things. There's some mountains and some rocks. Different chairs. What new chairs have they got? Oh, this is new. Oh no, that's old. That's new, I think. I haven't seen that before. The oldest ones are at the bottom, they just add to the top. So these ones were a while ago. So, and I haven't really... Where's the one I put on the... I think it was that one. Let me have a look. Yep. It's the one I put on the mountain. It's quite a nice chair though. It's that one. What's this one? This one. Ooh. That's nice. For a castle or something, like a vampire-y castle. Have you changed the... Have you changed the colour of it? No. Okay. I've never used that one. Chairs, there's some cars, motorbike, a boat, a plane, and some cars. And this pink car here is the one I put the Auto Club inside. When you first bring it out, it's just as big as a normal car. So, it's just a normal, oops. Just a normal car. Yeah. That's how big it is. And I made it huge. If you go scale, I think scale is this one, yep. You go 2, 2, 2, and it's bigger. So I just made it something ridiculous, and anyway, run around inside it and found out that I could save it, so that was good. Alright, so that sand's done. That's good. Oh, shit. Sorry. Sorry. Cars. I've got a mind like a Civ at the moment. cars, electronics. This is the DJ, the original DJ prop to pretend you're DJing. There's a microphone. They've both got animation commands attached to them. You can sing at the mic. Some speakers. They're the speakers I usually use. These are the speakers I used in Mandate Club and hung them from the ceiling. There's the drum set I've got in this house and the guitar I've got in this house. There's the radio that you run your audio streams through. And there's a little laptop, which I have one of those in here as well on the table. Some tables. This table is what we used to make the floors out of, this one. Back in the day when there was no way to get outside there was a totally different system. You had this tiny little apartment and you couldn't get out, so we worked out a way to get out, and then we used to build, using a hack, we used to build floors with this. These are the commands for different actions. Plants, which need a huge update. Food, which is sort of newish. Special effects, we've got some fireworks now. That's nice. And this one is dance pole, cross, cage, toilet, and money. Anyway, so okay. So that's the menu for the objects. So yeah, I've placed one fir tree against a wall because it looked the way I wanted it to, and I was so happy I thought I don't want to change that at all. I liked the height of it. I changed the height of it and it came out really nice. So keep going. And I put that tree there on the original house when it was on the other build a long time ago. Someone picked on me once and said, "Where's the roots? It's not unrealistic, there's no roots." This is a tiny, tiny little planter. And yeah, I guess the roots would be coming through the ceiling here, but whatever. I liked it up there. You've got to balance realism with what you like. So these are the planters I've already got. And there's a dance floor we did last time, and a jacuzzi. And I just put this here against the wall, and I thought it looked really just right. So just that height, just that position. I mashed it up to the wall slightly, so it's actually going inside the wall a little bit. Oh, it is too. Oops. Well, I'll have to put another. I'll have to bring this wall forward a little bit. Make that a bit thicker. That's no problem. I can do that easy when I do the kitchen. So yeah, it's coming through. But I did that on purpose. I mashed it through on purpose that much because when you've got bushes against houses, they don't usually have they don't usually sit out like this from the wall. They usually sit against the wall, and I liked the gap. I didn't want any more of a gap at the very top. Unfortunately, the plants all have animations. Like this one has a different animation, but it sort of wiggles as if the wind's blowing it. This one will as well. They all do. And this one, this tree. Unfortunately, you can't remove the animation. You can't have a still. Would be nice if you could and take the animation out, separate it, but they won't let you do that. And this one's quite a violent, blowy one on this tree. so the top moves are about a little bit too much, but you know, whatever. So I sort of like it there. I thought it was just right in size and everything. So let's make, I'm just going to take these planters I made. I'm going to have the same planters. I like the texture I use, so I'm going to take the same planter I made ever so long ago. I forget how long ago I made this house. It's a fucking long time ago. Is there any top on it? Did I put? I think so. Copy. Yes. That was for the dirt. Okay. Oops. So it was realistic. So we'll use that as well. That's supposed to be put inside. See, it's sort of like a, I think it's sand with a brown colour on it. I think it's sand. And I put it inside so it looks like the pot's got dirt in it. So if anyone wants to look that close. Right, so first we'll get rid of that. And I think we want this. A lot of people might find this particular video quite boring because it's just fiddling around with pots and plants. But it's got to be done, and I'm quite intent on including everything that I do in this series. So let's make it. Once again, using this blue triangle will allow you to shrink round things without making them ovals. It'll be exactly equal all around, which is handy. So I'll put that, it's got to be against the wall but not into the wall, like that. Over. There's that. I was thinking something about, yeah, a bit thinner even. Maybe thinner. I was thinking something sort of narrow like the plant. What's that? Is that a little too small? It's a little too small. Oops. That's okay. Yeah. Higher? Let's see. Or lower. It's a bit stupid being so low. It needs to be sort of like. I'm just looking at the shape of the bottom of the tree there. It's not quite. In the middle anyway. How's that? Yep, will do. It's not against the. I've got a black border on the fence, on the wall here, which is sort of hard to see. See it. That's easier. See, on the bottom, all around I've got these other than here and there to go with the windows, because the windows look silly without the border around the bottom of the doors and stuff. So, oh yeah, this is some. So, while I'm here, I just want to see if I get rid of the. I want to see this. In the last video, I explained how I was looking at the new galaxy time of day, which is this one, and how this water sort of cut it in half, and how by removing removing the ocean, you saw it all properly. Like if I put that and delete that, oh, 0. You see how it cuts it in half, the water? And it looks ridiculous. So, and I worked out that it was meant to have no ocean. Oh, here as well, look. If you put 0, it misses out, it gets rid of it. So I was wondering what this other new one was. Let me have a look. This mountain one. If I get rid of the ocean for that, I think it's supposed to be the top of the world. You know, you're in the Himalayas or something. Ooh, yeah, look. Ah, yep, you've got the... Oh, look at that. It goes... Wow. Okay. So that's the mountain, the whole mountain in the clouds, like the Himalayas or something. That looks amazing. That's really nice. Okay. Because they're like, you'll never be able to sit on that. That's just an image on the dome that goes over the top of the sky. But so if I just put 0, you go up. You've got the ocean. See, got the ocean in the way. Very interesting. I like that. It's very peaceful, isn't it? You could do something interesting with that. I don't know how, because you've got to be standing on something. Unlike the space one where I was just walking around on an invisible floor. This one, I guess you could put an island in, like islands. You could get an island. Yeah, this island. Okay, that's how you do it. Yeah. Snow-covered island. And then lower it down. And you can build on this. And then when you walk to the edge, you'd be up high on a mountain peak. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's what you're meant to do. So you're just not meant to look at the edge of the mountain. So when you're on the build, over wherever you built the house, because you can also widen it as wide as you want, like any other shape. See, you make it flatter. Oops. So you'd have a nice sort of flat area with those hills in the background, and you'd have a chalet or something, or a club or whatever you wanted. And as you run around, you'd be at the top of the world. Oh, that's gorge. Alrighty, alright, that was fun. Hang on a sec. Get rid of you. And put on our time of day back to daylight. Yeah, it's just a repeat, see, without the ocean. And I'll put our ocean back at 0. and keep going with our plants. Alright, so we've got that plant there. Alright, I'm going to put the dirt in. So make sure it's centered. That, and then make it small enough so it's so you can see inside. There, that's perfect. Okay, I don't know why. I like the details like that. So if they look in it, they can see the dirt. So is it higher than the? Oh, that's fine. This one, so you can see the dirt in it. It's not just hollow. It's the light. I don't know if it's my monitor or they've done something to the game, or my graphics card or something. I have trouble seeing. Yes, or old age, I don't know. Maybe old age. Alright, so that's done. Now, where's the next thing we want? I want to plant, hang on a sec. Let me go back here. Alright, I want to plant, I want something over here. Level with that here. Let me just get a shape, any old shape. Oh, I'm going to use the same thing, aren't I? Same planter. Right. So copy about here. I don't know if it's going to be square though, or round, or a strange shape. Not that shape. It's going to be a hollow shape. I think I'll just leave it at without being too creative. This isn't going to work. Well, it could. What is that? Oh. Well, that might make an okay planner. If its edges all like that. It could work as a planter. Just something different from the round ones. Hang on. Like that. No, not there. Yeah. Alright. I'll move you over there. Move this one. It's a little high. See, this is why you put the avatar right next to you. Where you're building, so you go, okay, I'm going to make this. If I wasn't around, and you go, oh yeah, planter, great. And then when you actually go into the room, it's sort of up to your head or something, and you go, oh, that looks ridiculous, it's way too big. So it just saves a little bit of time. So maybe more like that, because you can sit on that as well. You can put, if you make it the same height as a chair, which would be where's this one? Oh. Okay. Are all the chairs the same height? This one? Is that the same height? Pretty much. I'm just looking at the idea of where they relate to the avatar, how high something is, because when you sit in it, it's built so that it looks like your feet are on the floor. Look at this one. Remember, this one with the hand, if you drag it around with this box, it will go on, it'll glue onto any, whatever surface it's near. It's just a really easy way of placing it the right height. It's also the same, so they're all quite low really. Okay, so delete those, delete. So it's about the right height, I guess, to sit on. I was thinking higher, but that's okay. Well, let me try, because I'm thinking, how does it look from here? There's a lot of, I'll swear, there's a lot of piss farting that goes around, or goes into doing things like this. Placing objects, make sure they look natural where they are. I think it's not in the right spot. I think it needs to be, oh shit. Is it underneath? Is it popping out? No. Don't use that one. I think here. Yeah. I was thinking I'd want to put some seating in this area, in sort of maybe a half circle formation, sort of maybe facing this way, like, so when you're sitting in it, you're sort of facing that like that. So I thought this, I could have a planter sort of here. What's it look like? Oops, shit. Hit Alt when you're doing fly cam and you're doing W, and you hit Alt, it makes you go faster. See? And it's right next to the Windows key, so I hit it by accident. Alright, what does that look like? Oh yeah, that's right. If I had the right texture on it. Let me have a look. I don't know what this one is. Is it that one? No, it's soil. It's like, it's got gold. This is what I was saying in the last video. There's no way you can go back and check what texture you've put in an item. It's a real pain in the ass, because I got this, I would just like to pick it, and I'm not sure which one it is. Rocks, like where I got it from. Bricks and blocks, I don't think it was that. Concrete and plaster it could have been, but I don't think so. Maybe. It might be this one, but I might have done something to the colour of it as well. No, you just got to go through. I mean, I'd sort of like them to match. So, let's see. Oh, there it is. That's the one. It's this one. Yeah, it's that one. It looks a bit stupid when it's got a chunk out of it though. So maybe that one. What's that look like? Not really. Let me see. Concrete. Terracotta. That's hideous. Oh, that's. I could just change the colour of it and make it a brown. No, I don't like that at all. Concrete, asphalt. That's sort of alright. Maybe that one. I don't have a huge range of textures, but yeah, that one's alright from a distance. It's not the same as anything else around it, but it still sort of fits in. I might use that. It looks like stone. It's supposed to be asphalt, but it looks like stone. You'd have it like on the ground. So you'd make your ground like this. That, and get it down center, get it down to match everything else. And then you would make it asphalt, as it's supposed to be. And it looks a bit like asphalt to me. And it's got a terrible pattern on it. Look at that. Repeating pattern. I wouldn't be using that. Oh, that's better. It's like the new type of. That's better. It looks like more natural. Yeah. Oh, there's 3. Oh, okay. What's that one? It's a bit like the moon. Yeah, that's got a repeating pattern on it too. Those lines. Yeah, I don't like that one. Concrete. I've used that one before. Concrete. It's horrible. Okay, that's the asphalt I'd be using for a road, because that one's just, look at the pattern on it, it looks so fake. Anyway, I'll get rid of that. Alright, so we use we'll use this because it works for this. It looks like a stone. What's it? Alright, now we've got to put some soil in it. I'll have to use, I think, squares. To use some squares, maybe. So square. Flatten it out. A little bit like that. And then it doesn't matter too much if it's not perfect. Move that to there, so it's sort of over the edge, into the corner of it, and then sink that down, like about that. It's about how deep the earth would be in a planter. And then because we want to keep it exactly the same height and have it blend seamlessly into each of the others, you're just going to copy it exactly that piece at exactly that height, and you won't see any difference between the edges. It'll be perfect. Alright, so even if you spin it, as long as I don't change the height of it, if I've got it joined together, it'll be seamless. So go like that, and then we can get the end of that, stretch it out to there, and stretch that one out to there, stretch that one out to there, and then we're going to need this one copied and moved to the other end. Oh, that was easier than I thought. Just three of them. There we go. Like that. Okay. So then we change multi-select all three, and put, I think it was just dirt, wasn't it? Soil. I think it was soil, but it was, hang on, let me copy it. Take it out. Which one was I using? Oh no, it was sand. It was sand. Okay. And I made it that colour. I don't think I saved the colour. So this sand, yeah, that's what I did. But I did this sort of brown colour. If I click on that and look at my colour picker, is that the colour? I don't think so. I don't think that's the colour. No, totally different. Okay, I'll just have to get it. It's a little less red, isn't it? A little more red. Blue. Hang on. Maybe I had it up here. maybe? No, darker. How's that? Sort of similar. A little less red. Sorry, time, I can't talk right now. It's a bit pinker. Sort of pink. Dark. How's that? A little lighter. That's close. It's a little bit darker, but it's lighter. And that's too pink. Sort of more orange on the orange side. Like that. No. So close. That'll do. That's sort of close. Close enough. Alright. So, get rid of that one. And that's the colour I'm using. What about this one? No, this one. Yeah. Alright. So that's the colour of the dirt. Alright, that'll do. And now I've got the colour saved. I can use it again. Alright, so it's sand and that colour. Alright, so now I feel guilty I didn't say all that at a time. Oh, what plants? I could put a tree in. I'm gonna put a tree. Trees are there. I could put some bushy stuff. A tree might look nice. See if a tree looks any. Tree looks any good. Just put any tree in. Oops. Does the tree look any good? Like, not that tree, I won't have a different tree. That's the tree I've got up on the... Oh yeah. I'll just delete it. So if you're going to look and see if something looks nice, let me have some nuts. And think. If you want to know if something looks good or not, delete it and put it back. And go backwards and forwards. Oops. That looks alright. What does it look like from here? Well, depends on which tree, I guess. Oops. Put a different tree in. Like this one? What's that one? Try a different tree. I sort of like it. What's it look like down here? Nah. It's not that tree, maybe. Because I want to put seating here. Alright, so get rid of that tree. Try this one. What's that? Oh, that's like a... I don't know if I like that one. I think I should say hello to time. What's that one look like? It's sort of... a bit of a sad looking tree though. Tall as well. It's not the sort of tree you'd have in a planter though, is it? It's a foresty tree with branches missing. Yeah, I don't like that. No. Get rid of that. Willow tree, I think, way too big. It's a lovely tree, but it's really not right for this planter. It's like no good at all. It's a lovely tree, but no. Palm tree. Oh, this might work. This might work. Oh, that looks nice. How about that? Even just that way. I think I like that. Yeah, I like that one. That looks quite okay. What's that look like? Yeah, palm tree. It's sort of like islandy. Even on the angle that it's come at, I like it. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. And the size and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That'll do. It's sort of architectural enough in the stem. Let me just say hello to Time. Sorry, I can't. Oh, she's gone. Alright. Sorry. Alright, so I'll just leave the, normally I would have put some flowers or something under it. Like, flowers under it. But this kind of tree, you wouldn't have flowers, would you? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I could use it as an ashtray, I guess. Alright, so let's go back. No, that's alright. Run around and have a look. So if you're dancing on the dance floor, yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. I love this little fir tree here. That's sort of good. That adds a bit of interest over here. Like there's a plant there, but it's not taking up much. It's not like bulky. It's got anything that's got sort of like lines, sort of a line look to it. Architecture. I call it architectural. It's very architectural. Like it's got this line here. Oh, I know what I mean anyway. Now that looks nice there. Oh, that's good. So it's sort of just like when you're looking around, it's just like this trunk. So it doesn't look busy and cluttered. And there's a lot of like lines, the stairs, the windows, the railings I made, the black on the house, the frames around this sort of stuff. So it sort of fits with the thin lines everywhere else. But if you look up, you see a nice palm tree there. So it looks sort of full. Now, I think we'll take that. Yep. Yep. That looks good. And that spot looks good. Okay. So let me put some seating there. I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want 2 people to sit next to each other, wouldn't you? Would you? So they could sit next to each other? I think you would. Yeah. Alright. That's when the function of it comes in. Alright, so move you out the way. So objects, commands, seats. 1. If I use snap, will it make it perfect? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No. Okay. It was worth a try. No, I think I rotated it freehand. Alright, so I'm going to put this in. So yeah, these commands, as you see, the ones I put in the jacuzzi, there's a chair one. So each command will, when you click it, you get a little symbol show up when you hover over it in the game, and each command has got an animation coded right into it. So they are. This is a new teleport one. There's a bed one, couch, table, chair, stool, pool, DJ booth, stand against a wall, dance pole animation, toilet using, and a glory hole one. If you don't know what a glory hole is, I'm not telling you. So you can sort of see. Oh no, I'm not going to say anything. It's YouTube. Alright, so get this back from the edge so I can see it. and that's just a little bit crooked, so it's that way. And then move it back. It's still crooked. So what I'm looking at is this line here, the dark line where it's overhanging the edge of the. See here? Here's the line of the prop with its texture on it, and then this command prop is sitting out a little bit, and I want it to go in and match that so that he's sitting properly, because it's coded so his legs will be in the right spot, or her legs will be in the right spot when they sit down. But I'm purposefully leaving it out so I can see if it's crooked or not. So that seems okay. Alright, so now I'm going to, how high is it? It's actually pretty good. If this is up in the air too high, when you sit on it, your bum will have a gap under your bum, and it won't be actually sitting on the prop, it'll be sitting on this thing. It tells it exactly where to sit down as well. So the placement of this command is important. If it's crooked, you'll sit down crooked and your leg will be going through something. If it's too high, you'll be hovering above it. If it's too low, you'll be sunk into it. You could do creative things, like if you're using cushions, you could have it just slightly under the cushion so it looked like your ass was sunk into something that didn't actually bend, but it would look like it was sunk into a cushion. So you can be creative like that. Alright, so I'm going to move this back now because it's in the right spot. Just what you do is it'll disappear into the thing, so you want it just sticking out of the wall, something like that. It's still crooked. Yeah. Alright, well, we don't care. That's fine. That's fine. It's so subtle, doesn't matter. Alright, and then we want another one. Copy and move it there. Oh, are they the right height though? Shit. No. Now they are. That'll do. Okay. Alright. So if you're sitting, I'm just visualizing now, if you were sitting, and you can't test this out when you're not in the actual room, so I can't use the avatar to test out how it looks. I can only use the avatar to test scale, or if you want to walk up and down stairs and test it, test that the stairs work, it will work. I'm just imagining two people sitting there. Would it look crowded on the corner? No, it's fine. Alright, so we're going to repeat that. Copy that one and that one. Copy. So now I know that they're the right height. I'm going to try and do that again with the snap. Now that it's more or less adjusted to the angle of this shape, it might work. Oh, that's the example of pivot and center. We want center. Move it as a group. Is that right? No. No. It's a different shape. Oh, too bad. Could I have 3 people sitting there, or I could probably fit 3 people on that. That might be nice. Alright, before I do that, I'll put these here. I'll put them here and there, and then on that one I'll have 3. Alright, so I'll just do it freehand. And put it in like that, and then twist it. So you see it sort of disappear. Move it over like that. So move it in so it starts to disappear. So, and you can see it's on an angle when you move it in and out. So it starts to disappear, and then slightly twist it so that they both appear, and then move it back, and they should both, ideally they should both disappear together. Almost. Ideally they should just disappear at exactly the same time. Yep, see? It's exactly the right angle. So they're fine. I'm just looking at the placement. I won't have anyone. I might put one there you can sit on your own and look out at the ocean. I wouldn't have. Would you have 2 people sitting there? It'd be a bit squishy. But 1 person can sit there. Right, so copy that. That is a 45-degree angle, I think. This angle here. So I may be able to use. I may be able to use that for here. Let me have a look. Yeah, when you use pivot, they'll all turn on their own axis. 2. Let's see. I don't think that's right though. No, it may be somehow something I did to stretch it. When I stretched it, yeah, we won't worry about snap. Alright, so twist it, move it back, it's still out, twist it, yep, it's closed. Move it forward. That's pretty close. This is. When you get another tip is if you're far away, it will sometimes be a little touchy. Like it'll be. It'll move further for what you're moving, the ratio between what your mouse is doing and what it's doing will be larger. The difference, does that make sense? But if you come right in close, you can sometimes move, see, much slower. Okay, there we go. Yep, there we go. So you come in close and you can move. There we go. That's close enough. Right. Okay. That's slammed into that. Does that make a difference? So move it over. Where's the... can't imagine everyone would be sitting on there at the same time. I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, and then copy that and put 3 on here. Put that in. See, I can fit 3. I could put another one. Back. That's close enough. That's a tiny bit. No. Alright, that'll do. And then one more of these, so just copy one over to there, and then move this one slightly over so they're more even. They've got more arm space between their arms. It's going to be squashy anyway. Okay, alright. Slightly on an angle, but that's fine. Right. So we've got our seat commands in there. Oh yeah, I was going to put one in the corner, wasn't I? That's right. Hang on. Take that, copy that. So yeah, direct copy means that it's the same height. You don't have to worry about doing the vertical again. I'll just have one here. Someone can sit on their own. So more towards there, so they've got a lot more foot space. That looks about right, I think. If you went and stood, and you went over here and you go, and you'd sit down right there, wouldn't you? And then I can put, is there food? Someone's been eating some food. Let me have a look. Objects. Food. Just a bottle maybe? Always using the bottles. There you go. That bottle's got a command in it, so you can buy a drink. Just put it there, so you're sitting next to it and your bottle's next to you. Twist it around a little bit towards you. So if I was there, I was sitting there and my bottle was, yep. Yeah, it'll do. There you go. That spot's a little squishy. This spot can take one person, but I wouldn't put someone here because, like, you would not sit there. If you, like in real life, you wouldn't squish into that corner. You'd probably sit on here or something. All right. And when it's being used, someone will sit down there, and someone else would go oh, I can't sit next to you, come and sit next to me. So they'd sit somewhere else. Okay, so that's alright. I don't think that palm tree needs any it doesn't need any flowers underneath it, to be honest. No. I'm going to leave this here just for now as a reference. So I'll put it over here, put it there, just so that I've got it as a reference. Now I'll do one more thing, and then I'll do two more things, and then I'll finish the video, because save it being really long. Oh, that's there as well. Okay, I wanted to put some seating here, but I just wanted to block it out. So I'm thinking something semicircular, like this is just an idea. This isn't finished or anything. I'm just thinking of putting seating in. I'll do it in another video. And around a bit like that, sort of, because that'll be a big job in itself. I just want to see it there. So I put some sort of seating, and oops, oh, I can't swivel it now. Right. Yeah, alright, forget that. That's just going to be some sort of seating there. Get rid of that. I just want to be able to visualize something there. It's not the right shape. No. Maybe this one. Try that. Just want to visualize having, that's not right either. Which one? This one? What about this one? That, and then a copy, and then move it out, and then, yeah, I'll just make something really rough for now that sort of is along the lines of what I want. Like, I want it more like that way, like that, and then I'm not sure how I'm going to make it yet. And then another one here like that. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it yet. But like, sort of like that, like a seating area that's sort of a little bit on an angle. Like that. Just lower. in, I don't know what material, like could be wood or I've got no idea, to be honest. Wood. Just some really dark colour. Yeah, I'm not sure, but some seating with cushions, or I mean I could just use couches, but I'd like to build something a little bit more custom for there. So some sort of seating there with like white cushions, white cushions lying around, you know, and like a pattern on it, something like that, where you can sit down on a pile of cushions or sit on the thing, but I don't know exactly. Like to sit down on the ground, you just do it. You can do that anywhere, right? But to sit on something, I need to do this sort of stuff. So you could sit on the seating, but you could also sit on the cushions. But they'd need to be low enough so that you could sit into them without being too into them, because you'd be sitting on this floor. Alright, so alright, so that's the seating thing I'm going to put in the corner there. Something like that. It could be wicker, it could be, I'm really not sure. I might make it out of like proper sides on it with a back, curvy back or something, or it could be straight side. I've got no idea. Something like that might work, like a wooden shape, but not as rough as that with all the bits on it and this shit going on. But you know, it's an idea anyway. So, and some cushions laid around would be nice in the corner there for seating. The next thing I want to do is I want to get the light. I don't know if you saw the video where I was getting the dance floor that I didn't use from the smaller house, like the smaller dance floor from the house. But I showed you the outside light fitting I made, and I said, oh, I'm quite proud of that. I thought that might look nice here, just not here, up here. Oh, and while I'm here, I thought a cactus might look right around here. Let's try a cactus there. There's a really nice cactus I would like to use, this one. It's really nice. A bit bigger than that. Maybe in a pot. Ooh, that's wrong. So like that, not going through the wall, a little bit narrower. Yeah, looks sort of, it's a bit waves around a lot. Is it too low? not sure. Sticking through the wall. Yeah. How's that? Does that look stupid? Or if I had a pot under it? Or is it too much? It might look better just free, not. Might look better like not even like in a pot on its own as you walk past. Yeah, I think it might look better like that. I think. Yeah, it might look better like that. Oops. Yeah. I thought it might look good against the wall there, but it looks a bit busy maybe with this as well. And in the design of the house, I've done like these sort of panels that sort of repeat. It was like a little bit like the Mondrian I made, this sort of thing. And this panel and this panel. Hang on. Oh. Oops. Shit. Over there. See how they repeat each other? Yeah, no, I like that better without there. I think I'll just leave it. There's a cactus like in a planter there, halfway down, might be nice. As you're walking along. Yeah. And the other thing I thought of as well, when we're talking about lights, when I put these lights in which were around the jacuzzi in the club, because they were already there when I built that other one and I brought them with it, and I looked at these pylons, I thought, well, why aren't they sitting on the pylons? But then I thought there's like a garden light I made in Mandate on the ground which would look really nice on each pylon, and then I used a yeah, that looks better with the cactus there. That's just nice. I like that. And then that there, yeah. So you put too many in, it starts looking too busy, too stupid. I don't know if I need one here or not. It is a pier. Anyway, so I imagined doing the lights on the pylons, like all around the house, and then you use a lighting effect to make a glow that they don't actually have. So I thought I might do that on all the pylons. And they can provide like pools of light all around, and then I can get rid of these guys. But just for now, I want to do this light on the wall here, because I think it will look really nice. So let me save it. Let me see. Doing plants, aren't I? Yep, right. Save to file. Let me see. Save to file. Auto Club. Adding plants to deck. Overwrite. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's check out and see if our. Let's just come in quickly and see if our seating actually works. Is Iggy the slang? Whoops. Is Iggy the slang for ignore? Yes, it is. Put him on Iggy. All right. Run. Run like the wind. Alright, let's go. Oops, oh, Pris is there. Haven't seen her for a while. I've been gone so long. I thought Pris and I were friends. You've just got to now check when you put in a command for a seat or an action. You really need to dot your I's, cross your T's, and just use it and check it out and see if it looks natural or not, which is what I'm doing. So. This is more. So I'm eating some nut. Cashews and almonds. The palm tree looks good. Sort of hugs the edge of the house as you're running down. I like that. Very nice. Okay. Okay, one. Okay, is my bum in the right place? Yep. I'm sitting over it a bit. That's alright. It's natural. Okay. This one. Yep. So the arm and the leg comes to there. Yeah, should be enough space. Comes to that mark just there. If you've got multiple, oops. Yeah, hang on. If you've got multiple accounts, you can log in with different characters and just test it out. This one here, I'm just looking at this mark down here to see where the leg is. Yeah, it's fine. And this mark here is there. Yeah, that's right. Yep. 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 And then just this one here. Yep. That's your bottle next to you. Okay. Looking out at the ocean. It's supposed to be like in a chair. Doesn't look quite right. Yep. I could move them forward. I don't think your arse is supposed to be sitting that far backwards, is it? I might have to move them more forward. Look at that, that looks a bit stupid. Ah, look at that. I think I might have to move them back forward a bit. So it doesn't look so silly. Okay, let me do that. I won't bother running down. I need to test it again. Okay, no. Okay, well, that one. If I move it, I think like half and half, like that, might work. Out that far. Far, and then this one move out like that. So you're just sitting out. Just sitting out from the edge a bit. Your legs sticking out, but at least your ass isn't. Let me try that. At least your ass isn't hanging out, like, because you're not sitting on anything. It's unnatural. Your legs are not supporting your weight. Your ass is supposed to support your weight. Your legs can sit out. Let's try that. Oops. Pretty much. Someone being passive aggressive. We're talking about someone without mentioning it, but they want everyone to ask them who it is, whatever. She said, so you just want to keep talking about it like that to get people to keep asking you who you're talking about. Okay, I'll try it now. Then I'll do the light on the back door. I think it will look very nice. Shame Bob. I'm basically a puppet. Yeah. You never know who's who in this game. People leave, or you think they've left, and then they're actually on another character with another name. Because you can only have the one name. I mean, you can only have that name, Rose Hood. It cannot be used by anyone else. with that spelling and everything. You have unique names. And that person's been in the game for a very long time. This person I don't recognise. The Asir one, there used to be someone called Asir who's obviously made a new character with a variation of that. But you could be talking to someone that you've known for years and you wouldn't know it. Alright, so let's try it now. Sit down. That's better. See? How his ass is properly sitting on the... and his legs are hanging off. That's better. Yeah, that's better. That's not so bad. At least it looks like the weight of your ass is sitting on there. That's fine. Yep. Fine. It's a little high, but when you're standing next to it, it's... yep, that's good. I could go back a bit. That's the one I was worried about. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so which one is wrong? This one. That one can go back a bit. This one. That can go back a bit too. That can go forward a bit. Fine. Alright, so this big one with the 3, I can go forward slightly more. The next one along can go back a bit, so it's forward, back, and this one is back also. Okay. Forward, back, back. Alright, so these ones, that one, that one, that one. Forward a bit more. Just a fraction. Yep. This one and that one back a little bit. And this one and that one back a bit. Okay. Try again. It's a shame it's so far away, really, isn't it? I could move the, you know what I should do? I should just move the entrance point, or put in a teleport command. Oops. just clicking where you want to run. And if this seating's fine, if it's not, I'll do it off camera. This is going to be boring as shit, but fine tune it. Alright, so after this, regardless if it's fine, it should be fine, but if it's not, I mean, I'm not smoking, I gave up smoking, I've got these little flies in the house, like these little gnats. I like them because I really like spiders. I've got spiders here, and they feed the spiders. So, but they have a habit of jumping into water. So if you leave a cup of tea hanging around too long, you look in there. There's this little tiny fly in it. Committed suicide inside the cup, and that one was fine. And I like a pretty dim room. Like I like mood. A friend of mine used to say I like mood lighting, which is true, I do. And so I can't just see. That's okay. I can't just see in the cup. I've got to use something to have a look in there, throw some light on it. That's fine. No, that's alright. That looks natural. How's that? Lovely. And perfect. Alright, that's great. That's good. And then that's perfect too. Alright, we're good. Okay, so let's go into customize. Let's save that to file so it's permanent. Auto club adding plants to deck. Overwrite. And we're going to load the other house. Double story default. Yeah, so so I have to look inside the cup to see if there's any flies in it. It's the tiniest little things. If I didn't care about the spiders, I would not like them, but some lights. But I very much like spiders. Love them. It's very simply made, but I really like it. Probably I should take that as well. Alright, so back up in the air. Copy to 50 meters. Lift it up. Oops. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't like spiders. I think they're gorgeous. They're so sweet. They're very, very peaceful. They will not hurt anyone unless they feel threatened, in which case they take on something the size of a dinosaur. I mean, like, how brave is that? They'll go for a human which is the size of, literally to them, a mountain. And they will attack you because they feel like you're going to kill them. So they're so brave. I mean, we'd just run away, wouldn't we? And they try to run away. But they're very intelligent. They're very, don't ever tell me they're not. They're very, very intelligent. They're very peaceful. A lovely peaceful vibe about them. Oops. Lovely peaceful energy. I'm going to have to get it out of the way, aren't I, again? So let me just put that on. And I actually like even the spiders that people tend to think are going to like prowl around. They looking for food. Like there's some spiders that stay put in a web or in a particular area, and there's other spiders which will roam around. They're the ones you need to watch out for because they're actually looking for food, but they might be looking in an area that you frequent, and they'll bite you if you sort of like brush them with your hand. Imagine this thing the size of a tractor or the size of a house coming down and swiping at you. I mean, like you would be pretty afraid, wouldn't you? So exterior light. Exterior light. Alright. Did you save as selected? Yeah, I did, didn't I? I hope so. Hang on. Clear all props. No. Just save it again. Save, selected to file. Exterior light. I'll save 2 versions just in case I didn't. So I'm not concentrating. Exterior light 2. Otherwise it would save the whole map, not just what was selected. So I'll just save 2. Alright, I'll go back to Auto Club, Lance. Alright, and then outside and try and see where this light is. So it's the ones that wander that you need to watch out for, because they can turn up in areas where you are active. Like the ones in the webs, they're so peaceful. They don't even bother you. Oh, there it is. No, that's fine. I did it right, didn't I? We'll look and see if there's another build inside here somewhere. No. No. Alright, cool. So they're very peaceful. Like they'll only get upset if you frighten them. Same as snakes. Snakes are pretty peaceful. They don't want to bother with anyone. It's only if you disturb something and it's trying to defend itself. I don't know why people are so afraid. Anyway, I love spiders. I absolutely. Oops. Why isn't that not? Yes. Oh. I don't know why people are scared of spiders. You leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. And they're very, very peaceful and very sweet. I've had a spider wave at me once. Little jumping spiders, you know, those tiny little ones that they're like miniature ones, and they've got tiny little short stumpy legs. There was one in my front garden sitting on a plant leaf, and I got right down close to it and I was having a look at it. I said, "Hello, how are you?" And I lifted up my hand and waved to it, just with my fingers, that sort of wave. Not a sweepy, wipey wave like the royalty does. It's just a little finger wave, you know, with all my fingers. Hello, how are you? And it did it back to me. I swear, it did it back to me. It lifted up its front arms and waved back at me. I was like, you don't tell me that they're not smart as. They're just as smart as anyone else. Just because they haven't got our oh, I need to get rid of that cube. I call it a cube. It's not a cube, but anyway, get rid of that. Just because they haven't got the same size brain as we've got, or speak the same language as we've got. Humans are so egotistical. They judge everything on their own standards. If it's not like a human, it's not. It's shit, basically. It's like, and humans even do that to other humans, don't they? If you're not the same, if you've got even a different colour skin, you're considered different. So what hope do insects and animals have, being so different? But you know, I look at the similarities. We've got a face, we've got eyes, we eat, we shit, we dream, we get frightened. We're all the same, basically, as each other. Right, so pivot. So I look at us as pretty much all equal to each other. And oh, I shouldn't have done that. No, go backwards. Put that on. 45. Yeah, because I can get it exactly. Yeah, there you go. Get it exactly. So I look at everyone as equal, like no matter what species they are. We're all got the right to live our lives, and we're all just as smart as each other. So I'm putting that in our own way. We're all just as smart as each other. They can't do maybe what we can do, but we can't do what they can do, so you know, it sort of evens itself out. I'm putting this plate in the wall about as thick as I would imagine a plate on the wall was. Oops. I think a bit more out, just a little bit thicker, just slightly. Yeah. Alright, now we want it down. So I look at everything, I treat everything with respect because, you know, we're all oh, I've got to get in the right spot anyway. So how high do we want it? So you've got the light on it. I think about there. Over a bit. And I see the similarities, not the differences. So I like spiders, and they've got a lovely peaceful vibe, as I keep harping on about. That's pretty good. And they sort of calm me down. They make me feel like they're peaceful, so I feel peaceful. So I like them in the house. I do like them being around. But since my cats died, I don't have the doors open all the time anymore. I used to have the doors open pretty much all day, all night, just foot open so they could get in and out whenever they want. But they both died last year, so I can close everything up now. I don't need to have it open and freeze my tits off in all winter. So the spiders don't get any flies coming in to feed themselves. I think that'll do. What's it look like at night? Yeah. That light fixture is wrong anyway. Yeah. Now we've got a new one, so get rid of that. Alright, okay. We want, for there, we want a 90-degree one. So get the light 90 degrees. Probably not even 90, probably 180. Yeah, 180. Ooh. No, that's vile. Put on a 35. Maybe better. Okay, that'll do. Just wanted it sort of like, it looks like the top sort of shielding it. So yeah, it was like, what are the spiders don't get as much to eat as they used to, because they used to have the flies and stuff coming, mosquitoes and flies and beetles and crickets, whatever, all stuff coming in. And since I lock everything up now, nothing can get in. Yeah, that looks alright. As long as it doesn't come inside. Oops. Yeah, that's alright. It's just outside. Alright, so we want a different colour though. So colour wise, I think it would be sort of a this. It's yellow, isn't it? It's not too bright, just a little bit higher. So it looks like it's a bit out of the way. Yep. Sort of matches the yellow of the... Oh shit. Oh, where am I? I think it's a little too yellow. Maybe slightly warmer. It's a little too yellow. I'm not sure I like that. It's a bit sickly looking. If I make it more of a warmer, like, oh shit, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Picker. Make it warmer. There, like that. That's better. So yeah, then just test it out in a variety of lightings so that you can see what it looks like. It's a little bright, I think. In the dark it's like that. In the daylight you wouldn't really have it on. It's a little light. Just bring it down a bit. To there, if I add that colour, to there, yeah, it's just subtle enough so it looks like it's making a bit of a glow on the wall. Without, it's putting a light. If I get rid of that, see, on the floor there, see how it's flatter. If I put it back, see? It gives a little tiny bit of light. See, watch the floor here. See, it goes flat. Watch the floor. See? Just a nice little touch of light, but not too much. See, at night time. It's not supposed to be a spotlight, it's supposed to just give out a glow. I'm just, so because during the day I don't really want to notice it that much. So you don't really notice it during bright light. See? I notice it all there. During that sort of, it looks sort of not, it's not that noticeable when you're walking around. But at night, it is. Yeah. It's just a bit of realism there. It looks like it's coming from this. Okay. That'll do. Alright, and I like the placement of it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, and I want to get the lights that I thought might look good on the thing. So file, save to file, otherwise because I'm clearing this out, adding plants, I'll just put it all under the adding plants to the deck because it's the same sort of section I'm working on. I'm doing plants really still. Alright, so now we go file, load from file, clear, mandate, where was it? Mandate, general light level fixed. There we go. So the spiders have got something to eat now, which is good. Okay, so these lights here, you can't really see it. If I lift one up, you'll see it. Hang on. So this setting 1 meter. Oh no, shit, that's 0. Snap step 1 meter. Right. And I'll lift that up. And this is what I made. It's a similar jobby to the one I just. In fact, I made this first for the pathway, so it doesn't provide any light in itself. Like if I take that and then delete it, there's no light. So this is the texture on. Pardon me. On the cube that I use when I put it in the sky. It looks like it's glowing, it's got a light, but it doesn't provide any ambient light as a source of light. So to make it look real, I put these all over them, So they provide these little pools of light all along the pavement, along the walkway, which I thought looked nice. But it looks like they're coming from these guys. If I go that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, because I don't think I've ever slowed down. Oops, I've never slowed down, and that'll do. And shown you the fixtures that I made. So if I do, I think 1 meter is a little too far. Lift that up one. See? Alright. So that's actually what they look like when you're walking along. You see, they've got the during the day it's like that. Okay. But at night time, which is the setting that I use for this particular map, you can see the difference without the glow, the light effect on it. So, and that made it look a lot nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take any of them. So I'll take this one. So I might change it to 3 meters. So that goes up, because you can't grab the insides of it without lifting that box off it, because the box is the light box right over the top of it, so it looks as real as possible. So then I'll put the light on. I want this bit, that bit, that bit, that bit, and that bit, and then I'll have to remember to put them back down. I'm going to go right back in the sky. I'm going to lift them up 50 meters, copy it. 1, 2, 3 times. Before I make the cube, I'll shunt it over. Anyway, so 1, 2. Yeah, so I'm feeding the spiders, but now I've got these little fucking flies trying to get in my mouth and falling into my tea and stuff. Like, they're so suicidal. They only live for, apparently, I looked them up, they only live for a couple of weeks. They live like 2 weeks maximum. And they'll sort of be born and then start flying around, and they'll kill themselves in, like, you know, half a day. They'll jump into some water and commit suicide. They've got no, well, it's all about having brains. They've got no brains. I think they were created specifically to, oops. I think they were created specifically to feed other things, and so they're designed. Oops, they're designed with that sort of mentality. Like, they just sacrifice themselves to the world, and they've got like a death wish when they were born. That's the conclusion I've come to anyway. Because they just die so fast. It's so silly. Whereas something like a spider will do all it can to survive and protect itself, to the point of attacking something that the size of a dinosaur. I mean, is that not something to admire? Alright, so we've got that. Go. Alright. save, select it to file. I'm going to call it pier light, just the one. Yeah, save. Okay. So I don't have to put that back or anything, that's fine, doesn't matter. Load from file, go back to the auto club, adding plants, open. Okay, now go outside the mountain and merge from file, pier light. I just think this will look very nice. There it is. It's way over too far. I went the wrong way. At least it's not in the mountain though. It's not inside the mountain. Alright, I'm just going to go up. And just move it over there. I wouldn't want them all along the pier because I think, number one, you don't want to put so many things in that you don't need because everything is a load on whoever's system is using it. So you want to keep the load down if you can. So you don't want to add things that you've got absolutely no need for and that you don't really want. So I wouldn't be putting lights all along there, but I do like the idea of having them on the pier itself, like around the house, sorry, rather. Okay, so there. We want to take the cube away. We want to take these guys and be very careful. We don't have to rotate them, that's good. Because I'll start off putting them here. I thought I'd just start with just these two piers, these two pylons. Here. See how it looks. Get down. Different angles, it's in different spots. Right, so there. I don't know how high I want it. Maybe that height might be just nice, I don't know. Right, so let's get it in the middle first. More or less. Just a little bit out. Looking at this side, that side. And then because it's got the box, I might put the boxes down separately, but just for now I'll just put this down. Now settings was it 1 meter, 5 meters, wasn't it? 5 for that. Put that down there right over the top of it. Oh no, it was 3, wasn't it? Sorry, 3 meters. 3. Yep. Alright. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, and sorry about this, I'm going to have to, time-wise, I'm going to have to literally have a look in. I don't have to use the avatar. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, that's nice. Yes. Yeah, it looks alright. So you'll be walking down here. Walking, running. And then you'll come to here and then it'll be like this. And then on each pylon there'll be one. What's it look like at night? Oh yeah. Just a little bit of light. It's not really... I don't know if it's the right kind of light for the look I'm going for. It works for the other place because it's on a stone path and the sort of moonlighty sort of look. Here it's a little cold. I can warm it up a bit, I think. But do I like the do I like the look of the light? Yep, I do. Looks very nice. Adds to the 3D effect when you're moving around. Okay, let me go back. This video is going to get close to 2 hours again, I think. Right, let me go and do this. I just want to warm it up slightly and not have it so cold. So it's sticking out the top. Is that right? Is it supposed to be like that? Or is it supposed to be like... Oh no. Hang on. Anyway, never mind. Night time. Let's warm it up to... What's that colour I just did before? And then lift it up. It's not the best, is it? That's better. That's a little better. It's like, it's a little stronger as well. It's the moon. Oh, it's just the moonlight. How's that? Save that as a colour. Let me just check that. Where am I? Here we go. Okay. That's better. Even though the light's not... I mean, it's a white bulb. It sort of looks like a white light. Yeah, that'll do. I think that'll work better than the sort of cold white light. Go back here. Yeah. I don't want it too bright. Just a pool of light. So if you're here, It's sort of warmer. Is it? Maybe it could be a fraction less brown. Alright. Oops. Let me try something else. Just lift it a bit. Take the colour out of it a bit. Because once I get one right, I can just copy it over to all the others. Oh, where am I? No, no, no. Why am I here? This is the public beach. I don't want to be here. Fuck off. Fuck right off. It's busy. I don't want to be in the public beach. I wanted to customize. I did not click the beach, did I? Okay. It's done that a couple of times. I've clicked to go back and it's taken me to the public beach. Right, I want this slightly less. Right, hang on. Which colour was it? That one. Oh, it's not going to save it. Shit, 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 shit. You fucking... Ugh, whatever. Whatever. It won't... I hate that. How's that? Is that better? It's a pain, that. It won't reload the colour you've... What's that colour? Oh, okay. I want that. Just let me keep making them. Is that wider? That's a bit better, isn't it? A bit lighter. Maybe that. So that's the original one I had. It was a bit... Yeah. Alright, that one is that one. Yeah. I think that one. So that one can go, that one can go, and then that one can go there. Alright. So that's the reddish one, and that one can go. That one's, it's just a little bit wider, not so, it's not so warm, but it's still not like white. It's a bit, it's just, for me, it's not believable that it's coming out of that light. That's more like it could be the white light. So I think that's kind of okay. I mean, I do like the warmer look. That's not realistic. That's more realistic. Okay, alright, so what we'll do, put the lights in and then I'll call it a day, right? So we get like snap step 1 meter, 1 meter up. This way I can multi-select everything that's inside the box. Okay, so take that, copy it, oops, undo. This is why I wanted to get the colour right first. Oops, get the colour right first. Is that a meter? No. Sorry. Just take it off. This is why I wanted to get the colour right first, so I could just copy it and have it more exactly the same. I mean, you imagine the nightmare if you were trying to recreate. Oh, you can save the colour, I suppose, but even still, it's just easier. Here's, I was going to say there's one of them now, but you can't see it. Right, there. And does 2 look okay? Yeah, I think on it, I could do it on every second one. I'll try everyone and just see how that goes. Copy. Copy. Oh, I just thought of something though. I made these using a light glow effect that was all I really had then. Now we've got the angled ones like I used on the wall. That might be better because this is providing light. It might be okay. What's it look like? Hang on. Oh, let's do one more. Copy. It might be better to use a different, like an angle that only does a pool of light, goes downwards and not everywhere. I'm not sure. Maybe change that. Alright, so then we go that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And we lower them all down. Oops, like that. What does it look like? Light at night. Oh yeah, oh that's alright. That's okay. That'll do it. Yeah. Okay, keep going. What I'll do, I will just go all the way around and have a look. Oops. Have a look and then call it call it a day. This won't take long now. Little details like that. See how it's slightly off the center? So if you had a bunch of them and they were like all over the place, it would look like really rubbish. Because if it was in the real world and someone was installing lights, they would be measured and drilled exactly in the center by the tradesman that made them. They might be slightly different, but they wouldn't be very different. So if you want realism, you've got to think about what people do in real life. And you wouldn't see in a commercial setting, especially like a plaza or something, you wouldn't see them all over the place, unless it was a design feature. Then you might. As I've said before, you absolutely have to look at things from all the angles, because the way that the games work is that it might look right from one angle. You go, oh, that's in the middle, but it's actually way off. Look, see? It's not in the middle at all. So you've got to check it. That's why I'm going around in circles. So you go like that, go around this way, it's still in the middle. And you go around. See, it looks like less space behind it than in front, but in actual fact, I think the engines sort of exaggerate the perspective, like the distance and stuff. So you've got to go around in circles and check it out from every angle, because even just going like this from different angles this way, it's still going to look slightly different when you move. So what? Yeah, it's nice. If there's too many, I'll just delete every second one. Have it only on every second one. Or something. Depends on how many pylons I've got. Those flies, there's little flies, they're a problem though. So I read online that they breed by crawling into, like they lay their eggs in ants' heads. Like while the ant's alive, oh my goodness, while the ant's alive, they stick their whatever's into the ant's head, in its thorax or something, into part of the ant anyway, and they lay their eggs, and then they the eggs sort of turn into larvae and stuff, and they burrow into the head and the brain of the ant and feed on it, and the ant's head falls off and it runs around like a zombie. I was horrified. I was like, what? That's horrible. Anyway, since that, I've noticed that they keep going for my nose. Like they'll hover around your nose or your ear or something. I was like, oh my goodness, they're trying to lay eggs in your head. And I end up with fucking lava inside my brain. So I sort of, one part of me wishes I hadn't read that, and another part of me is extremely grateful I did, because I'm now extra careful. If I feel a tickle on my nose or something, I'm like making sure that fucker's not getting in there. Awful. But it feeds the spiders, so. There was one spider before I saw had one in its mouth, and it was wrapping another one, a new one, up with its legs, back legs. Like I had one on hold, like I had one for the future. But while it was sucking the life out of one, they just suck on them for ages, and then they drop them, all sort of finished up, like little vampires. Suck the life out of these flies. Alright, and yeah. So yeah, if you get little gnats around your nose, because I read on the line it said they're searching for somewhere moist to lay their eggs. So yeah, the inside of your head is quite moist. That's probably why. Probably sensing the moisture in your breath, like mosquitoes do. They sense carbon dioxide and stuff. Quite sensitive insects. So yeah, yuck. Alright. Do I want one down here? I don't think so. No. Do I? No, I don't think so. If I decide I do, I can put them in later. But right for now, no, I don't. Okay. I'm just thinking, if you were in this house, this luxury house, and you were standing at the end of the pier, you'd have some, maybe some here. They wouldn't be down there. No, they wouldn't be there. It's not realistic. Yeah, so if you sense some little gnats flying around your nostrils or something, make sure you swipe them away, because they might try and crawl up into your head to lay their eggs. It's horrible. Things I do for the spiders. So. that's good. That one works really well. Yeah, I don't know if that's too many. We'll see. I might just have every second one. Maybe. We'll see. I'll have to work that out. It might be too many. Might just be too many in a row. I can sort of visualise them every second one. Might look a little nicer. The palm tree looks really nice there. Glad that worked out that one. Yeah, lovely. Just adds something there that just need, it's like without being too much at ground level. Very nice. So if I'm ever doing a video and you hear me go, fuck off, it'll be one of those little gnats. There's one right near me now. I don't know why it wants me. It's got loads of places to lay eggs. Because usually an insect flies near my head, I go, hello, I think it's just saying hello, But this one's a little bit more sinister. I mean, I don't want larva inside me. It's not larva, is it? It's larvae. Lava is what comes out of volcanoes. Anyway, let's stop talking about lava. It's creepy. I love spiders and things. I don't want to think about their food reproducing in my head. That's pretty good. In the next video I will continue with the plants. I'm thinking that there's not that many to do more. I don't know if I even need anything here. Maybe something here, I don't know. I don't want to overdo it. And I can continue on, and if something looks a bit empty to me and it's like annoying me, keeps grabbing my eye, I can put one in later anyway. I just want to pretty much, I like to concentrate on one thing and do it in a stage and get it out of the way. So you say, okay, I'm going to do this room and do the whole room and get it done, or I'm going to do lighting. It's something else I need to do as well, I realised. I need to put some light fixtures in here and associated effects to make it look like it's lit, and up here as well in the bedroom there's no lights in the ceilings, but I know what I'm going to use in the default house where I where I went to before to get the light from outside, and where the small dance floor is, in the ceiling of the lower floor there is little lights in the ceiling. They were there when they built it and gave it to everyone as their default house. However, the lighting glow wasn't. I put that in myself because it looked a bit flat. I'll show you in a sec. See, we're talking about lights. But it's a very easy sort of light to make. That's why I guess they made it that way. It's just basically a little cylinder, and with the glowy texture on it, like I'm using here. And I've just got those stuck in the ceiling, and they sort of suggest lights. It's quite good for a minimalist sort of lighting look. So I might use that. I can't do sunken lights. That would be a nightmare. I'd have to put holes in the ceiling. Like that would, no, that's really stupid. So all you need is something to just, like I said a couple of videos ago, it's more like a sketch. You're sketching out the suggestion of something. So it's real enough that it looks, oh, it's close. It's real enough that it looks real, but then you get to a point where there's a balancing act where you go, it's too much detail, no one's going to even notice that I'm wasting my energy on it. No one's ever going to notice it. So it's a balance between those two things. So when you've got like a roof light, you want something in the roof that looks like there's lights there. And I can imagine the ones in this other house, which I'll show you in a sec. I can imagine they'll look good in here. But yeah, you don't want to go too detail-y, and you don't want to have it too simple that it looks unreal. So somewhere in the middle. It's like a sketch. It's got enough definition and reality to it that you're just glancing around and it looks real. If you get really close to something, you'll see it's not realistic. When you're just walking around from a distance and you see things out the corner, like those candles, they haven't got wicks in them, but who cares? When you see them, they look real. Love that palm tree like that. That's good. That's the angle it came out at as well. Like I didn't spin it or anything, did I? Oh, it's in the middle. Put it over. Over. Oops. That's it. Oops. Okay, that'll do. Alright, so I will go. Oops. Right, so I want that. I'm just lowering them down now. I have to lift it up because, yeah, as I said, it's inside. The way I put the lighting box, it encloses the lighting fixture, and whatever is closest to you will get selected when you click on it. So if there's something completely surrounding something else, you're never going to, unless you go inside it, unless you zoom right in like this, inside it. It's tricky sometimes. You're never going to be able to select it. So that's why Snap Step is so important, a tool. You can set it to lift it up out of the way, and then if you've got snap step selected, you can move it down exactly as far as you lifted it up, and it goes exactly back down where you want it. Okay, so they're all up. So snap steps on 1 meter. Boom. Alright. They're all there. Okay, I think, yeah, I was going to see about moving these guys out of the way, but I'll leave them for now. Alright, so save that to file, adding plants to deck, save, overwrite. Alright, I want to come, oh, yeah, I want to go back into it and check it out. I also want to see how high they are compared to the avatar as well. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. And then, assuming that's all good, I will quickly jump over to that other build and show you the lights I'm talking about. And I will also check it, how it looks at night. So, okay, come on. I've got daylight set, nighttime set quite bright. I did that specifically because of the dungeon. I needed the light in the dungeon to be a little bit brighter because it was surrounded by rocks, and I figured that no one's going to notice. Like, there's stars. It's supposed to be a lot darker than that. But that was for the enclosed space, which was too dark. I can revisit that later. Have a look. Okay, so is that too many lights? Sort of. Along the sides it's sort of too many, I think. I'm not sure, I think that's too many. I think sometimes less is more. I think one on each one, sort of too many, to be honest. Yeah, that's too many. I can visualize it with less. I think it'll look a lot better with less of them. It's just too many. And there's a pot around it. Yeah, I don't like that so much. I think it looks a bit stupid, especially along here, along the long side. Alright, hang on a sec. Customize. Just bear with me. I think this will make a lot more sense. Have a look. take off the second one. So take that off. Oh, hang on, what was that? Where did that go? Honestly, this stupid fucking builder, it's flinging things to the side. How's that? That's better. That's better. It flings things around when you delete something or move something. It flings it around. You're going to be real careful. Alright, how's that? Okay, I think that's better. Let me just go back in and zoom down and have a look. Otherwise, because if I'm deleting them all for no reason, where are we? And then I want them back again, that would be a bit sad. Yeah, that's better. That's nicer. Oh. Nicer than that. Oh. At night time. Yeah, and the pools of light aren't all. This reminds me of. I used to work in a department store a long time ago, years and years and years ago, and we had fluorescent lights under the counter on the products in the glass counter. It reminds me of that sort of look. The fluorescent sort of strip light inside a counter. This is more pools of light because it's more spaced out. That's more atmospheric. I think, yeah, I think just a few. Like, which side do you like better? I think it's, and they're both the same size. Or are they? Hang on. No, it's not the same size. I just realised. Well, too bad. Too bad. Let's take out. I want that one on the corner. If I take two out, it'll be too wide. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that one there, and I want that one there. But I do prefer it with just the, with not so many. Okay, so let me go back in. I might save it as a different file in case I change my mind. Like I can mull on it later. So let me just. I just have to remember, make up my mind before I do anything else. Alright, so I'll be deleting this one. Hey, did it again. Where is it gone? You bitch. Oh, over there. Look. Look. Why? 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 Why did it do that? Fucking, it's so annoying. When you just click on it and it just goes whoosh. Pisses off into some bizarre place and you never find something that small again. Fuck off. Oh. Right. No. Ooh. Alright. That's right, that's right. go around this way and do every second one anyway. Delete. I'll do it top first. Delete, 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 delete. This one, I just think it looks nice, like a little more sophisticated when there's not so many of them. The problem with this, why this is annoying me so much with this item flinging around, is that the back button is not bringing it back. So you hit the back button and nothing happens. So unless you locate it, you can't just bring it back to where it was and keep going. That's why it's annoying. And you could end up with a tiny little object in the fucking sky somewhere and you wouldn't even know where it was. And that sort of thing annoys me. That one. Oh, okay. Now I've got. Do I want that on the corner or not? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe that doesn't matter about the corner there. Yeah, no, I can do without that one. Alright, take that one away as well. That one goes. I'm doing very slowly, making sure it doesn't splotch something off into the distance. Normally I do it a lot faster than that, but yeah, that's better. Oh, I want that there. Maybe I just have some odds. Some strange ones together. I have those two there. So I definitely want one on either side of the... Alright. So this corner one can go as well. Yep. This one can go too. That doesn't look bad with the corner missing. It still looks okay. Just look at an extra one here. I don't know what to do, so I'll leave that one. So there's 3 there, I guess. I can't really do much about it unless I want to rebuild the whole pier all over again, which I definitely don't want to do. So, oh, hang on. I'm going to go sideways so I'm not clicking on anything else. Yeah, a lot of building, I think anyway, a lot of building is putting it there, having a look. Does it look good? Yes. Does it look? If you think it looks good, look at it from different angles. Run around, look at it from different angles. Definitely go away and leave it for at least a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes. And then come back to it and have a look at it again with fresh eyes. And yeah, I might have to just leave that one Although, if I did... If I did... Yeah, no, it's not going to work anyway. I might want that one though. I might... So I want the corner one. Okay. I want to move... I'm going to just take... I'll take this one off. And yeah, just keep checking on it, keep looking at it. Just because you put something in doesn't mean it has to disappear forever. I mean, it doesn't have to be there forever. Put it in, have a look. If it doesn't work, so I've got two over there, but whatever. It's trial and error. Yeah. I definitely want that one on the corner because of this and this. I want symmetry there. And unfortunately I don't have the symmetry with this. If I take that one off, there's not enough. I would have to move... I could move the pylon. I'll just move the whole pylon. Just have one in the middle. Could do that. Like move this. It might look odd if this pylon here was like there. Maybe. Oh, look alright. It would solve the light problem though. Let's move it into the middle. Oh shit. Hang on a sec. Oops. I always get it confused, snap angle and snap step. Let me just try. Oops. Move that over into the middle. Sort of middle. And then that looks better. Yeah. Delete that. Does it look stupid? Only from the sense that it's got less pylons for that space, but for the... just for the light... Oh shit, I didn't move the light. What happened? Oh, hang on. Oh. Oh, hang on. Right, now move it. For the light, just the realism of the light fixture. I had them sort of like that. Is that in the middle? Move it over a bit more. And then just remove that one. Oh, I've got them both there, I can look at them. Okay, yeah. I'm just going on how I did them all before. It's a little bit over. Yeah, that's better. Alright, and then just click that off, delete that one. And then from the front, you've got your gaps. It looks a little more. Oh, but no, then it's 1, 2, 3 again, without the pole in the middle. No, I don't like it. No, sorry. No. No, that'll do. I want it so that there's the gap, has also a pylon in the gap. After all that, yeah. No. I'll just have the two there, just for this. It doesn't matter. It's green on it. Alright, no, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's save this. Save to file. Adding plants to deck. I'll just say removed lights, some lights. So save it as its own file, and then if I don't like it, I can go back and continue building from the other file where they were all there, but I think I would prefer it, much prefer it actually, but I'll mull on it. So you go back, you have a look, you leave some time, you go the next day or something like that, have a look around and look at it and go, yeah, no, I like that, or no, I'm not sure. So you just let time pass and you get a much, like when you see it with fresh eyes, you get a much more accurate idea of how good it is or how much you like it. Put these torches in as a sort of a guide to go up there to that chair. going. Going. Well, the palm tree looks really nice. It balances out the other one. I mean, I'll always have that tree up there because I really love that tree. Where it is. It's just so stupid. It's like, doesn't make any sense at all. You could never have a tree in that little planter up on a balcony like that. It just wouldn't work. But I like it because it's you know, I'm strange. I like realism, but I also think, you know, you're in computer land. You can make it however you want. So it can be as full on fantasy if you want. So, all right, get the dark happening. How does it look? From a distance, it won't show up. There we go. Okay. Yeah. See? These ones over here. It's just a little bit more... well, that sort of works anyway. It's just a little bit more... yeah, it's just a little bit more subtle, a little bit more sophisticated, with those gaps that big, and not in every single one. Yeah, that works better. And I'll have other pools of light over the plants, around and about. This is just... okay. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of these ones now. These lights. Although I can probably put them on these pylons now. I'll think about that. That looks good. Yeah. Just on those pylons, so there's not too many, it's just enough. Nice little pools of light around. Add some dimension. Oh, that's good. Got a light out in the backlight there, which I like. Got our lights on the... yeah, now that works okay. Got our lights on the steps. And yeah, you don't want any lights down there, honestly. Oh, would you? Actually, maybe you do. Maybe you do. Okay. Customize. Hang on. Let me take you. Settings, 1 meter. That one. Oops. That, and that. Oops. And that. Oh. Is that everything? Yep. And the top. And that. Copy. Oh shit. Yeah. Turn that off. Copy. Lower it down. I think it will look better. At first I thought no. It's stupid. But no. It looks like that in the middle. Yes, I'm a perfection freak. Okay, that'll do. And then copy other side. Other side. The reason I'm not using snap step to move it across because I'm not sure what width I made the stairs. I customised the stair width. They come out, I think, 1 metre wide, but I always change stuff to make it look slightly like just what I want, so I don't leave it as it comes out. So they're wider than they normally would be. Otherwise, if it was just as it came out, I could probably just snap it across and it would maybe work. Alright, that's right. Yep. Alright, so then we go off that, this one and that one, and oops, snap, boop, boop. File, save to file. I'm going to keep those lights that way. I think they look really nice. So, adding plants to deck, and see these files you can make. These little world files are very small, like 207 kilobytes. They're tiny. Tiny. So you can make these as many of these as you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to make a new one. Adding plants to deck. I'm going to change the date as well. It's now the 15th, just so I know what I'm doing. And I've got the two earlier versions as well. Adding plants to deck, and also, whoops, lighting. Alright, so that's the 15th of June. It's the 15th where I am anyway, in Australia. 14th where you're probably watching this over there. So save. Okay. I won't run down, I'll just look at it in the yeah, so those, you can make as many copies of, like, as many versions as you like. It doesn't use any. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. From this, if you're swimming in the ocean, if you're going for a swim, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Alright. Cool. Alright, well we've done, and yeah, I like those gaps. It's not so busy. I sort of like those lights there, but I'll probably move them onto the pylons that haven't got anything on them, so they still provide the same ambient light onto the. I could put that one on the corner, I'll put this one here, I'll put one there and just delete one, just have 3 maybe, instead of 4. Because they do actually provide light onto the people inside the jacuzzi. and it's a little bit of interest around the jacuzzi. We'll see, we'll see. I love that. A little light. It's very nice. And you come out the door. Come out the door. There's a nice little light there. Yeah, little sparklies. Yeah. Alright, the night time is supposed to be 1.0. That's the normal night. It's the normal night setting. I might revert it actually and put more lighting inside the dungeon, so it looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? Yeah, I might do that. That's the typical night setting. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, now for the inside here, for these, just make a mental note of what I'm talking about here. This ceiling here has got literally nothing on it, right? And this one up here, same. It's sort of like got nothing. And so I need some sort of, and because the house is all glass and minimalist in a way, it needs something that's sort of simple as well on the ceiling. You don't want something like chandeliers and so it would look ridiculous, or maybe it wouldn't, but yeah, it's not what I want. So I need something that looks like it's got its lights. So I'll just show you the build quickly, and then I'll finish the video. So load from file, double story, stairs fixed, and I'll show you first what it just looks like as it is. See these lights that they've used up here? They're just basically cylinders with that texture on it, right? Very, very simple. Like it doesn't even have an inside or anything. But from the ground, just having these lights in the ceiling, I'm going to try that. But what I did was I put these light fixtures here. So that one, that one, that one, that one. That's how it looked before. I think it was set during the day, like that, and it just had those as it was, and I put these in and it just makes a huge difference, especially at night time. Like, look at that. It looks a lot glowier, and you get the it looks like a real light basically. See? So I'm thinking that's what I might do, and then it looks sort of, it just puts a nice glow on the ceiling. I might even change my ceiling to the same texture, because it's sort of a nice off-white. It's not too, the one I've got sort of like pretty stark. That's pretty nice. I copied it on the top as well. I used the same one. So when I put the upstairs there, so yeah, it's nice at night, and the lights make a big difference. It gives it a much more real lighting ambience. Like, shines on his head just a little bit. And just in case you didn't see the other video, that's the kitchen that I built. This was basically just just one story. This is the house that you get when you create a character. This is the default house. So it was, the fireplace was there. This wall was here in the middle. Everything was here. This glass. This wall was here. The windows were the same. Stairs obviously weren't not there. And it was just basically the roof, like the whole thing it's sitting on, and this little walkway around the back here, that was all the same. That was all there. But the house itself was just the top and 2 rooms. This lounge room side, and this was a bedroom, and basically it had a bed here against that wall. I even didn't change the textures or anything, it was the same brick wall. Bed here, and it had that television was, I think it was on the wall. I think it was on the wall. It doesn't sound right. Well, they made a different TV, but they had the bed here and they had a TV on the wall, and I think there wasn't anything else in the room. There was a light cube there. That lamp is even in the same place. I didn't even move the lamp. That's the same as it was before. So I put another story on it. And I moved the bed upstairs. I put another story up there. I put this deck. I put these concrete legs. Oops. These concrete legs into the rock. These trees were already there. Like, everything was the same apart from the top story. So I just copied the textures that they used. Put this window in, put a deck out here so there's more space, and put a kitchen in. I took the bed out, put a dining area here. I put this kitchen in, and I built this kitchen specifically for this area. So because I couldn't have built-ins, because it was against a window, I decided I'd hang it from the ceiling on rods like that, which looks quite good. And because of the wood everywhere and whatnot, it sort of, this texture I used, I think, sort of works for the for this house. It's dark enough to sort of add some contrast, but in the other house it just doesn't work. And the size, this is, as you can see here, it's specifically built with the fridge, which I made as well. It's just, I made everything, which is just here, with just enough room there. You could put a rubbish bin down here if you wanted. So why is that like that? Oh, it's got a light on it. That's so it looks, I think it looks nice for this house. It looks just right. But in the other house that I'm working on now, I don't think so. And then put the stairs in, cut a hole in what was the roof, and made a bedroom and a bathroom. the window up there, because you see bathrooms sometimes with a high window for privacy. It still lets light in. Yeah, so, and then this one's got this light fitting here that I like. It's like a 60s, 70s sort of thing. I made that just because a roof without a light, you know, sometimes just doesn't look right. It looks fake. So just a little bit of extra that makes it look a little bit more real. Okay, that's enough for today. It's probably 3 hours by now. I will. I'll see you in the next video, and we'll do some more plants. And I think the next thing I want to work on after the decking outside the house will be the bathroom, which isn't finished. So I might. The kitchen's a big job. I think I might start on the bathroom or the dining room, one or the other. Alright. Okay, take it easy. See you later.